Hey folks, let's take a quick look at how we can get the Polygon Starter Project up and running. Now, this starter project here, it actually indexes all Polygon EVM transfer events for the wrapped Ether contract ending in 619. Let's jump into our VS Studio here and we'll run the standard SubQuery init command. Accepting all the default endpoints here, and then we'll download the dependencies as well. Okay, so we've downloaded the dependencies. Let's take a quick look at our schema file here, where we've got two entities, transfer and approvals, indexing information such as block height, value to, from, and contract address. In our configuration or manifest file here, you can see that we've got an endpoint, Polygon endpoint, which is provided by OnFinality as a public endpoint as well. So it will be rate limited. And we've got the start block here. And I'm actually going to change the start block to about 4.2 million, where I know there's some data just for demonstration purposes. Scrolling down, you can see we've got two handlers, a transaction and a log handler. And then we've got further filters within, an approve function filter, and also a transfer filter as well. And if I jump across into our mappings file, you can see that this is what gets triggered, and this is where we actually capture the information from the blockchain to store in our database. So the first thing I'll do is run yarn code gen to generate the types. And then what I'm going to do is actually jump into Docker, and I'm going to make a small change by including some flags in the SubQuery node section. And the first thing I'm going to do is have the store cache threshold set to 1. Now what this means is that instead of having the information stored in a cache up to a certain limit and then a bulk insert into the database, it's going to insert it immediately just for demonstration purposes. This is also a neat tip when you are developing as well. The other thing I'll do is, because it is a public endpoint, I'm going to reduce the batch size. Otherwise, I'll be rate limited. So with that, let's run yarn build. And then we'll start the Docker environment. While that is starting up, let's jump into the README file. And I'm going to copy out the example query here. And then I'll jump into our playground. And I'll create a new query here, paste this in, and we'll wait for the project to start indexing the blocks. And there we have it. We've got some information come through, and if you want to cross-check this, you can always copy out the ID and jump into polyscan.com. And I'll go ahead and copy the transaction hash here. And I'll just paste it into the address bar up above. View the logs. And you should be able to see we've got a match of a value of 4. We've got the to address ending in 32B, and also the from address 2B7, 2B7. So there you have it. Just a very quick example of how you can get the Polygon Starter Project up and running.